In this video, let's check out why we can write 1/2 as 0.5 or 5/10. So 1/2, as we've learned earlier, is really a division question. So we're really asking how many times we've got 1 divided by 2, or how many times does 2 go into 1? How many times can you get 2 into there? So if there are 2 people that are sharing this 1, what is it that happens? Well, they obviously can't share this because it's one piece. So what we do on paper, what we do is we end up putting this here. And so we've really renamed 1 as 10/10. So let's do that physically. Let's take this 1 and let's replace it with 10/10. 10/10. So there we have the same quantity. We have 1, and we've renamed it as 10/10. That's what we've done when we put the 0 there. So now what we can do is we can share it amongst 2 people. So every person can get one of these at a sharing, and in the end, every person gets 5 of the rods, which, as you recall, is 5 out of 10. So every person got 5 out of 10, or 1/2 of the original 1, or 5/10, which could be written as 5/10. So that's why we add the zeros at the end. We rename the 1 to be 10/10. Let's try the same thing with the fraction of 1/4. 1/4 can be seen as 1 divided into 4 pieces. And 1 divided into 4 pieces can be written like this. So we have one item, and we'd like to divide it into 4 pieces. And so we can do that. We can divide it among 4 people. But it's one piece. And so what we'll need to do is we'll need to break it up into smaller pieces. So let's break it up into 10. So the 1 will become 10/10. So let's do that again, just like we did previously. So the 1 becomes 10/10. Now we can share them equally. That one has 2 already. Everyone has 2. And we have 2/10 left over that can't be divided equally. So what are we going to do? What we are going to do is we can replace those 2 with smaller pieces. So let's take these tenths and let's divide them by another 10. And the reason we divide them by tens all the time is because we have a base 10 place value. So instead of these representing tens, let's divide them up and make them represent 100s. And that's why we add a 0. So let's take these 2 and these 2/10 that are left, and let's replace them with these that can be broken up. And so I still have 2/10 that are left, and now I can evenly distribute them. In order to expedite that, I'll give 2 to each at a time until I run out. Now I don't think I have enough to give everyone 2, so let's just give them 1, and every person received the same amount. Well, let's check out how much they've received. Recall that this was 1. So from the 1, how many did they receive? They received 2/10 plus 5/100. So what does that look like on paper? Well, let's check it out. We first of all divided it into tenths, and then we distributed that. And so when we did that, everyone received 2/10. And we used up a total of 8/10. So we had 2/10 left over. Then we divided it into smaller groups called hundreds. and we distributed that. And 4 goes into 20, the 20 hundredths, 5 times, and everybody received 5 hundredths. Remember that the decimal place has to go up here because we're not dealing with 1 anymore, we're dealing with 10 tenths. And that's why 1/4 becomes 25 hundredths. Sometimes you'll see that written as 0.25. The 0 helps you to identify the place values.